Hold up. Before you start tapping in the comments that this match never happened, that CM Punk and AJ Lee never teamed up against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at some fantasy event called Wrestlepalooza, just stop right there. Because that's exactly what makes this the most insane what-if scenario that WWE absolutely robbed us of witnessing. Think about it, we're talking about arguably the most controversial figure in modern wrestling history, the man who walked out and burned every bridge possible, teaming with his real-life wife, one of the most talented women's wrestlers ever, against two of WWE's current top stars who weren't even in their prime when Punk left. The company had years to book this dream match, they had the roster, they had the talent, they had the perfect storyline ingredients, but instead they fumbled the bag so hard it's actually criminal. And you know what the worst part is? This match would have been absolutely nuclear, it would have broken the internet, shattered pay-per-view records, and created moments we'd be talking about for decades, but we'll never get to see it because of backstage politics and corporate egos. Now let me paint you the picture of how this match would have gone down because trust me, this isn't just some random fantasy booking, this is the match that should have main-evented the biggest show of the year. Imagine the electricity in the arena as CM Punk's music hits first, and after years away from WWE, he's finally back, walking down the ramp with that same cocky smirk that made millions of people either love him or absolutely despise him. The crowd is split down the middle, half of them chanting his name like he's the second coming, the other half booing him out of the building because let's be real, Punk is the most polarizing figure in wrestling and that's what makes him perfect for this role. Then AJ Lee's music hits and the place goes absolutely bonkers because we're talking about a woman who retired at the peak of her career, who left wrestling on her own terms, and now she's standing side by side with her husband ready to prove that they're still the power couple that WWE never deserved. On the other side, you've got Seth Rollins, the architect, the visionary, whatever name he's going by that week, and this is personal for him because Punk was supposed to be his mentor back in the day, but instead Punk left and Seth had to forge his own path to become one of the faces of the company. The jealousy, the resentment, the need to prove that he surpassed his would-be mentor, it's all written across his face as he makes his entrance with all the flashy gear and theatrical presentation that makes him one of the most entertaining performers today. And then Becky Lynch, the man herself, walks out and you can feel the intensity radiating off her because she's got her own beat with AJ Lee, she's got her own legacy to protect, and she's not about to let some retired wrestler come back and steal her spotlight. These four wrestlers together in one ring would create the kind of chemistry and tension that wrestling fans dream about but so rarely get to witness because everything has to align perfectly. The bell rings and immediately Punk and Rollins lock eyes from across the ring. You can cut the tension with a knife, but before they can even get started, AJ and Becky demand to start the match because they refuse to let the man dictate how the story plays out. This is brilliant psychology because it subverts expectations right from the start and puts the focus on two incredibly talented women who both have legitimate claims to being among the best of their generation. AJ starts with her signature quickness, darting around Becky, using the background and gymnastics to stay one step ahead, hitting arm drags and head scissors that have the crowd going wild because they forgot just how smooth AJ was in the ring. But Becky is no pushover, she's brought her way to the top of WWE through sheer toughness and willpower, and she starts laying in those stiff forearms that echo through the arena, backing AJ into the corner and showing her that this isn't the same women's division she left behind years ago. The match goes back and forth with both teams trading near falls and close calls that have the crowd on the edge of their seats. Rollins and Punk finally get their moment to square off and when they do it's like watching a masterclass in professional wrestling. Punk with his technical prowess and striking ability, Rollins with his high-flying innovation and athleticism that's off the charts. They're countering each other's moves before they even happen because they've studied each other's work obsessively over the years. At one point Rollins goes for the curb stomp but Punk moves at the last second and catches him with a GTS, except Becky breaks it up just in time, saving the match for her team and sending the crowd into an absolute frenzy because they thought it was over. The near falls keep coming, each one more dramatic than the last. You've got AJ hitting the black widow on Becky, but Rollins breaks it up. You've got Rollins hitting the pedigree on Punk as a tribute to his former mentor Triple H, but AJ breaks that up. The referee is losing control and the match is descending into beautiful chaos. Here's where it gets really good though, because the finish of this match would cement its place in wrestling history. Rollins and Becky start arguing about strategy, the cracks in their partnership beginning to show because they both want to be the one to get the glory, to be the one who pins CM Punk and proves they're better than a legend. This momentary distraction is all Punk and AJ need. They hit stereo superkicks on their respective opponents. Punk lifts Rollins up for the GTS while simultaneously AJ locks in the black widow on Becky who's still dazed on the mat. The crowd is going absolutely insane because they're watching two submissions and a potential knockout happening at the same time. Rollins has no choice but to tap out to avoid serious injury. Becky is fading in the Black Widow, and the referee calls for the bell, giving Punk and AJ the victory in the most spectacular fashion possible. But the story doesn't end there, because this is wrestling and the best matches always leave you wanting more. After the victory, Punk grabs a microphone and cuts a promo that will trend worldwide for weeks, talking about how he proved that even after years away he's still the best in the world, how AJ proved she's still better than the entire current women's roster, and how WWE wasted years of potential by letting both of them walk away. Rollins and Becky are furious in the ring, demanding a match, setting up a feud that could main event multiple pay-per-views and draw massive money. This one match would have created months of storylines, merchandise sales would go through the roof, and wrestling fans would finally get the dream scenarios they've been fantasy booking on forums for years. The real tragedy here is that this match represents everything WWE has failed to deliver time and time again. They have all the pieces to create magic, but they let egos, backstage politics, and short-sighted booking decisions prevent them from pulling the trigger on what could be generational moments. Comment below if you agree that WWE owes us this match. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know who's tired of the company playing it safe, and make sure you watch until the end, because we need to send a message that fans